the ordinance for the sale of the current town home facility that's located at 244 West Columbia Avenue. The sale is to All South Federal Credit Union. Anybody would like to address the matter, would you please step up to the podium? Anybody? Nobody? Then we'll call this public hearing to a close and call the regular session of council meeting to order. Miss Jolene, you said you do the invocation for me, please, ma'am? We appreciate that.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Good evening.
Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we do thank you for another day. Father, we thank you for those that have gathered here for the concerns of our town and community. Father, we ask you for direction. We ask you for leadership. We ask that we make decisions that are wise decisions and that is going to help us and not hurt us. Father, let us love one another. Father, just teach us and show us what we need to do to keep this town in order. Father, some things are going astray, but we know that you have the last say. You're in charge. We ask that our town council be blessed. Bless them, Lord, in a special way. Look on them, Lord. Help them make the right decisions. Look on our town manager. Help him in his decisions. Bless them, O Lord. Keep them in your care and help us all to love one another and do what is pleasing in your sight. Amen.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank everybody for being here tonight. I need a motion to approve the agenda as it has been presented, please.
Motion to approve.
Todd?
Second.
Second, Bob. Any discussion? District 1?
District 1 votes yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
5?
Yes.
7?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you. We have an agenda to work with. You have received minutes from several different meetings. We'll take them in order. I need a motion to adopt the minutes from the regular February 9th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Bob and Rachel. I think that's enough to call your name. Discussion? District 1?
District 1 votes yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
5?
Yes.
7?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you. You have received also minutes from a special council meeting for February 19th. I hear a motion to approve those minutes as well.
I so move.
Rachel?
Second.
Second from Maggie. Discussion? District 1?
District 1 votes yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you. And lastly, there are minutes from the special council meeting February 24th, 2015. Do I hear a motion to adopt those as well?
So moved.
Bob? Second? Todd? Discussion? District 1?
District 1 votes yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you. And our next meeting will be April 13th, 2015, right here. Councilman Odell, got anything from Central Midlands?
This one I was unable to attend the meeting last month.
Okay. Mr. Pennick, anything from EPAC?
They actually had a meeting last week, and, first one, second one, year and a half. It was a non-action item. The information from Powell Metal Utilities was presented. They are the contracted water treatment service for northeast Columbia. And they were, I guess, warming the fire and saying they might need more capability. That was it.
Short and sweet.
That's it.
All right, and what about joint water?
Well, their meeting was 2 days after our meeting on the, 11th. And we changed debt collection policy slightly and had a few personnel issues, and that was it.
Okay. Councilman Simpkins on EDC.
Economic Development Committee met on March 5th. General discussion, mainly from the school district, Dr. Boyd. We discussed his retirement and the process of the new superintendent coming in, which is in process now. He talked about a survey that went out that everyone could have participated in to indicate or give their opinions on what they would look for in a new superintendent. And so the school board is now in the process of making that selection or continue with that process to move to hiring a new superintendent. Then basically recaps of projects that were going on in the town from the city. And the subcommittee gave a report that they had another meeting scheduled. Nothing was pressing at this time. And that's pretty much just general discussion.
Thank you, sir. Chief Hendricks.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just wanted to come before you tonight to update you on something that we have been fortunate to be a part of. Batesburg-Leesville Fire Department, along with City of Columbia, USC, West Columbia, Irmo, and Lexington County, received a $25,000 grant for carbon monoxide alarms to be installed in homes. Batesburg-Leesville is receiving 200 of these CO alarms, and we're targeting I didn't do it, I swear.
It's out there into the system somehow.
Targeting either April 11th or May the 2nd to do a blitz. Volunteers will be coming in from other agencies to help, but we're also looking for volunteers from council and the town that may be willing to come out. We're looking to try to have 20 teams going into the community. We're meeting tomorrow to determine a few of the final logistics, but those are the 2 dates that Batesburg-Leesville is looking at. It's Saturdays, April 11th and May the 2nd. And we'll obviously let y'all know those dates as they are determined. But it is through Firehouse Subs Foundation. The Jeffrey Williams Foundation was the one that actually submitted it, but we were fortunate to be a part of it. Like I said, we're receiving 200 of the 1,000 alarms. City of Columbia, USC, are getting 300. West Columbia, Irmo, Batesburg-Leesville will get 200, and Lexington County is receiving 100. So we're fortunate to get a large number and looking forward to getting into homes and providing that needed not smoke alarm, CO alarm. Somebody have any questions?
Jay, what's the qualifications to get one?
We're going to try to nail some of that down tomorrow. What they are typically looking at is trying to do a blitz in a certain geographic area. We've looked at some of the data. Mostly CO comes from natural gas or propane that's not completely burned in combustion. So we're making sure that it is areas that have gas service. The areas that we were looking at initially are in the Batesburg end, kind of the southwest corridor, Oak Street, Howard Street area, and then also going out Saluda Avenue is one area. So those are a couple areas that have been discussed. But certainly, if anyone wants to talk to me afterwards, we'll be discussing that tomorrow at the meeting at the fire academy. So.
Let me know the dates.
Okay, I will certainly pass that along to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Got no public comments on the agenda, do we? Unfinished business will be the second reading of the ordinance for the sale of the current town hall facility located 244 West Columbia Avenue to All South Federal Credit Union. Do you need to rehash real quickly, or I think we've been through this. We've had a special meeting and we've just had the public hearing. I can go back and here it's going to say the sale is for $250,000, showing property comprised of .115 acres and all improvements. So do I hear a motion from council to approve this ordinance, adopt this ordinance?
Make a motion to approve the current town hall to All South Federal Credit Union for $250,000.
Motion from Charles, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Maggie. Any discussion? Hearing none. District 1.
District 1 votes yes.
District 2. District 4.
District 4 votes yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
And I vote yes. I'm sure All South appreciates it, and now the Batesburg-Leesville moves on. New business will be the first reading of an ordinance to amend section 1.21 of the business license ordinance related to declining rates. Now, I'm pitching that to you, Mr. Luckady.
Okay, as council will remember, in December, we updated our business license ordinance and adopted the 2014 model business license ordinance through the Municipal Association of South Carolina. Not to rehash everything we rehashed then, but once the renewals were sent out after this change, as I had indicated before, some of these larger businesses, higher grossing businesses, would see a much larger impact in their business license that they had to pay this year. Started receiving calls from some of these large business, higher grossing businesses, talking about how much it did go up, and I'll be honest, it was more than I anticipated. A large part of that is a lot of these businesses grossed more money this year than they did in the previous year, which didn't help out, but certainly the change had a pretty significant impact on the amount. So went back to the drawing board after having a lot of conversation with these business owners and started looking at the declining rate factor and reducing that declining rate from 5 million down to 1 million. Went back to the business owners after that as well, and still wanted to try and work on a little bit more reduction if we could. At that point, went in and changed the percentage at which we would decline after that, from 100% in multiples of 10 going down versus multiples of 5. And once we got to that point, reached out to these business owners again, and certainly no one wants to have to pay any more, but I think we've got them at a level where they're a little bit more content with the new amounts versus what it was in the beginning.
Do I hear a motion to amend the business license ordinance as proposed?
Just a question for Ted.
We got to put the motion on the table before we can get into discussion.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
A motion from Rachel and a second from Charles. All right, now go ahead, please, sir.
Now, the declining rate, you feel that this is a rate that we can live with?
Yes, sir.
For a while?
Yes, sir. I do believe, the declining rate part of it, it's really centered on businesses whose gross receipts are at a certain level. It really has nothing to do with all the other businesses. It really impacts the higher grossing businesses. But I think we're at a good point with this update and with this amendment, if approved tonight. I think we're in a good position. But, obviously, just as anything with our town, over time, we do need to look at some point down the road at incremental steps versus trying to make up 24 years again in the future. So, but as far as would I expect to do anything next year, not likely so.
Now, what percentage of the businesses in Batesburg-Leesville would you consider the largest?
Well, I'll give you an example. When we had 5 million as the growth, the point of declining rate, it affected 11 businesses in town. By dropping it to 1 million, it will now impact 46 businesses that will be able to take advantage of the declining rate.
Out of the 11 or so that were the hardest hit initially, have you had an opportunity to discuss with them what our plans are?
Absolutely. They're aware of the plans. All of them have actually been told to just hold off for right now until we get back in touch with them, pending these changes.
I have a question. Has Attorney Bradley had an opportunity to review this amendment that we're looking at this evening?
No, yeah.
All right. My concern is this. I don't necessarily like having to go back and revisit something that we've just looked at last month. But I don't want to be compounding the problem by not having an attorney review and making a decision tonight. And maybe it's not the way it needs to be worded or written. My suggestion would be to table this, get a review, and come back again after you've had an opportunity to review it.
I also have a question. Did you do a comparison study of other municipalities, our same size, population, and if so, where did we rank with those?
I actually provided that in the packet that you had, a little colorful chart that was in the back of this portion of your packet. Did a study of everyone that I was able to access their business license rates. And among 17 towns and cities that I looked at, with regards to the base rate, the first $2,000 worth of gross receipts, us in Lexington were among the lowest. We were the lowest, equally with the base rates. The per thousand rates, after the first 2,000, just as an example, our rate class 1's $1.15. Well, the average among the 17 municipalities was $1.15. Rate class 2, the average was $1.26, and we're $1.20. For rate class 3, it's $1.37. We're at $1.25. For rate class 4, $1.49. We're at $1.30. For rate class 5, the average was $1.60. We're at $1.35. And for rate class 6, $1.71 was the average. We're at $1.40. And the last rate class 7, the average was $1.82. We're at $1.45. So we are not necessarily the lowest. There were a couple municipalities that were slightly lower than us, but most of them were more than us in the per thousand rate as well, at 17.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? District one.
Well, are we gonna table it, or are we doing?
I haven't heard a motion to table it.
Make a motion to table this.
Do I need to
You've got a
withdraw?
motion inside a motion.
Do I need to withdraw my motion?
If you want to table it, you will have to withdraw your motion. Yes, ma'am. Now, keep in mind, the deadline, this will mean that we'll have a special council meeting here again very quickly to address this, because the deadline is April 15th. Y'all's pleasure, it doesn't matter, just know that we'll have a special council meeting coming again.
I'm like Todd, if there is a question about the wording,
Gotcha.
then I'm like him, I would hate to have to revisit it because of.
Well, let me ask you this,
the wording.
we can call him very quickly,
Yeah.
if you would like to get an opinion, since he's encumbered with Saluda County, so we could,
So can we just leave my motion on the floor until we get a answer from him?
I would prefer you withdraw the motion, and then we will have a recess for a minute, while we get hold of Attorney Bradley, or, I think that's probably the best thing, so just leave it on the floor. Think we can get him?
We're working on it.
Okay. But he said just let him know and he'd step out, so.
Yeah.
Technology's wonderful, otherwise it'd have been a tin can and a string.
While you're doing that, can I ask Ted another question? Ted,
Yes, sir.
now our concern, well, this is not a legal aspect of the business license, right? This is just a matter of changing
It's an amendment.
the decline.
Councilman Sands, ask you about
This
that.
is solely centered around just the declining rate, and I can tell you, some places use 1 million, some use 5 million, some use 2 million. Different municipalities use different levels at which the declining rate begins. And with regards to the percentages of which it declines, you see some people that go 95, 90, 85, 80, and then 45%, and then some use 95, 90, 85, 80, 65%. So I've seen different variations even among the way that percentage declines in other people's ordinances as well. But I don't think it'll hurt for us to just double check with him real quick.
Yeah, and he says he absolutely can review it, quickly, if we need to.
Well,
Have you got a copy of the ordinance?
can we,
Would you withdraw that, let's
I
recess
will.
for a minute?
Withdraw my motion
Thank you,
for
Chris.
the ordinance to amend section 7121 of the business license ordinance relating, as it relates to declining rates.
Okay, so that's withdrawn. Somebody make me a motion to recess for about 5 minutes while we look at this.
Motion to recess.
Motion from Charles, is there a second? Did I hear a second? Second from Todd. We're going to recess. Oh, I fight. Yeah, it was in your, it was, yeah, it's one of the last ones. Todd?
We got a commercial, right here, separate for police department, you don't have to have a code. Ours is, that was it.
What I'm saying is reasonably secure for me.
Right.
That's what you look like.
People would come in like you asking for that, so we put that one up, it's not,
It's on the outside of the
it's
firewall.
on the outside of our firewall, right? For police station.
I just didn't, I just put it up and how long it's been up there.
Right, and that's why we did, because people in here was asking for it. So we put one up.
I just,
It's gonna look fine, you wait and see. He does the majority of it, and I go back and clean it, and you need to.
Joanne would give out the budget. And I got mine, and I noticed it was the wrong month. It was the year before, it's just that that's all. So I went and told Joanne, she said, "Tell me what I bet you." No. So you just noticed it. I'm the one that noticed it. Wrong year. Right month, wrong year. I've been gone, everybody back.
That's true.
All of the check register things for y'all. I don't look at all of it. Well, it is. It is. But I'm saying, that was something. If I'm over, I have a question. It's one of those things on the joint water. I am one of the ones that's authorized to co-sign the check. So you just need to sign a check. All right, some of that SCNG, I understand. Some of these, all right, what do we buy? This $50,000.
I watch. You're supposed to be sick.
I sat down and watched it.
I watch Saturday's game. I watch Sunday's game. You know I'm gonna watch my girls go out.
They have checks. They need to go out.
Yeah, you sound terrible. You know that. Yeah, no, thanks a lot.
It's, you understand.
I don't want to do it. I'd like to just go ahead and put that out on the deck for you. Save you the trouble of having to do that. I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable here.
Honestly, if I was looking this way and then
They showed this
back
again.
there, I would think it's
And they showed one of the things that they
I think you need strange.
blowing out about a manhole and down.
You working?
And I was thinking.
Yeah, I work today.
I said, if we can leave that sign, and they just.
They got money to pay.
They got money to pay for it.
When I you think when you work, it's
Once you're off out, small.
actually, that's that part.
Sewer problems, and I'll be right in. You know what?
You're on the men.
Well, how did you get the call from Mark? That's what I want to know.
I think the biggest thing is.
Well, I've never had, so that is.
It's proud of it. the county.
I still got some lawsuits, I still don't, that need to help us out. But I'm not gonna do something.
You gotta replace the police car.
There's a, they just have a council president.
You see the pipe around.
And
They did. We could move them right now.
They put, you gotta figure like, you know, it's flooding inside. And they put those wires in.
he never did something. He never did something.
I'm getting better, but I've been
Still,
sick.
when I was on the council,
Just as soon as I feel
thinking about where they built the
I get that
bridge.
cold leak.
And it was a lot
As soon as I felt I'm popping that cold leak real quick too. And I was all over it. Got the vaporizer out. Started vaporizer up. And I fixed all, everything. So I do the mix thing every night.
So, from cleaning out the trucks,
Yeah, the cement plant is right upside.
they come in there and wash those trucks out, and that's going in that pipe. And then it parts.
No, right now, yes, I did in the beginning. Yes, I did in the beginning. I still do. I did in the beginning. But you know what? You know what happens to me now is I woke up just shot straight out of bed. I breathed.
That's what's going on over there behind.
And it was wonderful. Because I had just undone everything I wanted to do off for, you know. And it scared me so bad, I woke up, shot straight up out of bed.
By there Saturday, I think we'll stop seaplane working
But
on it.
once they start putting pump in.
We will, use these for the hospital. David said, I think I'm gonna put smoking in her sister-in-law. My brother's wife said, you just can't do that. And I knew then that it was done. It was done.
She was like, watch.
Yes, that was it, that was it.
And whatever happens.
You just can't quit.
Well, I stopped in November of 2000. It's been a long time. But there's still occasionally,
Have you not, you only had contact
Yeah.
with the dog, not with.
You know, Debbie's always, if she finds out that she's doing it, she's gonna go get a cigarette and smoke.
Smoke 'em all. I'm with her. Oh, dear.
And then they're gonna question them, so what have you been paying for?
Most places that leave.
But I'm kinda like Beth, I ain't gonna do all that hard work.
I like the smoke. Sometimes that lasts me.
Time for what now?
Anything new coming in done.
Nothing new that ain't already been discussed, so,
Tie
you
your
know,
hands about something.
we're kind of on open industrial talk right now.
Where I could hear half the dialogue from this movie, half the dialogue from that movie at the same time this one was going on.
Is it a movie?
We got that cleaned up, or everybody know what it is.
That has to go to the
What that zip code is.
The residents, and somebody who's
Prisoner, yes, that's long enough. Now, when you cut it, he said, I said, I'm not gonna love it. I don't know, you cut it the way I want it. But you know my cut.
Whack it all the way to the ground.
And they don't store any of the insurgents. I'm searching for anything that I don't use in the first one.
Cut all that stuff. Cut it down, even though I worry about it. Fix what I see what should be.
You know,
Y'all will watch
I guess
it.
it was, well, I keep my eye on it. Android, and I was looking through Virginia. I was looking through City. And I was looking through Google services. Google Maps. And I never knew that I gave them permission to kind of turn it off. I could look every day to see where I went. And it was close enough that I could tell or to tell me when I went across the street for shopping. It wasn't just like
So don't go back.
Motion to come back into council meeting.
So moved.
Motion from Charles, second from Bob. We were back at, where were we? First reading on the ordinance to amend section 7121 of the business license ordinance relating to declining rates. Now, if you would share what Chris said before we get into the motion.
Essentially, the issue is whether businesses within the same essential bracket, the licensees, are going to be treated equally from a equal protection fairness standpoint. That's the big rub with these things from a constitutional standpoint, is whether within a particular bracket, if there's any type of discrimination whatsoever. What I believe has happened with this new ordinance is that any type of discrimination whatsoever, business or demographics or whatever, has been eliminated. So across the board, the brackets are all the same. And if that's the case, then it passes constitutional muster. Now, as to what the rates are, that is a political question that is essentially, outside the scope of what the legal opinion would be, and that's kind of y'all's call. But in any event, if this ordinance does what we think it does, it should solve any type of constitutional issues that may pop up. Does that make any questions on that, or is that good?
He said it should.
That's with everything it should.
Now, if I can I give one example
Sure.
real quick? So, right now, we're talking about reducing from 5 million to 1 million, okay? We also changed those percentages to decline in multiples of 10 versus multiples of 5 that were in the original ordinance.
Right.
Okay, so if you've got, we were at 11 businesses at 5 million, we're going to 46 businesses at 1 million. As long as those 46 businesses that can take advantage of declining rate all decline in multiples of 10, then what they're saying is, legally, we're good. Now, if we have businesses at 5 million declining in multiples of 10, and we say from 1 to 5 million, you'll decline in multiples of 5, at that point you have a problem because you're not treating those businesses equally across the board. But the one I put before you, everyone will decline starting at 1 million at the same percentages. So.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to adopt?
I will make my motion again to adopt the ordinance to amend section 7121 of the business license ordinance relating to declining rates.
Okay. Thank you. Second from Charles. Any further discussion?
I have one more question.
Sure.
Good. Approximately how much will this decrease our expected income for the town? Have you run those numbers?
As far as this change, what it decreases from the original projection,
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that.
Did you run it on the initial projection? Had you run the revenue on the initial projection?
Yes, and I don't have it written down in front of me, so I can't, and there was no way for me to have an exact amount.
Well, I understand.
Initially, I think we were looking at 100 to 150,000 in potential new revenue, depending on on how the businesses did. As far as what this change exactly will reduce that by, I've kind of been focusing my efforts rather than across the board on a change, more just on these businesses, so I don't know exactly.
I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna vote to pass it on first reading tonight, but I want to say that I'd like you to look at those numbers before you come back next time.
Okay. All right.
Any further discussion?
And those numbers would be based upon last year's.
Well, some businesses, we've already received this year's, they've already given us this year's rates. Some we haven't gotten this year's rates, so I'll just use what I have.
Well, I'm only looking for a ballpark
So-
of how much this changes things.
Okay.
District 1,
District one votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
and I vote yes. We have a resolution supporting fair housing and declaring the month of April as Fair Housing Month. Whereas the mayor and the council of the town of Batesburg-Leesville desire that the citizens of Batesburg-Leesville be afforded the opportunity to attain a decent, safe, and sound living environment. And the mayor and council reject discrimination in the provision of housing on the basis of race, religion, color, sex, national origin, marital status, familial status, age, or disability. And whereas the mayor and council desire that every citizen be afforded the opportunity to select a home of his or her choice. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and the council of the town of Batesburg-Leesville that in order to accomplish these objectives, the town council does herein take the following actions. The mayor and council do hereby appoint the town manager as the fair housing administrator. The fair housing administrator shall receive any and all grievances concerning discrimination in the provision of housing within the incorporated areas of the town of Batesburg-Leesville. The fair housing administrator shall forward all such unresolved grievances to the State Human Affairs Commission. The fair housing administrator will encourage all local realtors, homeowners, and contractors to provide for non-discrimination and provision of housing within the incorporated areas of Batesburg-Leesville. And the fair housing administrator shall make available fair housing publications of HUD to the general public at the town of Batesburg-Leesville Town Hall. The month of April shall be designated as Fair Housing Month in the town of Batesburg-Leesville.
Motion to adopt the resolution declaring the month of April as Fair Housing Month.
Motion from Charles, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Bob, discussion. District 1,
District one votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Mr. Luckadoo, it's your turn.
Oh, man. All right, couple things. The towns, you should have got your financial statements on Friday. The town ordinances are now online at Muni Code's website. So anyone in the public, you have the ability now to go online at Muni Code's website. If you need that, you're welcome to come see me afterwards. I'll write it down for you so you can visit that site. Unicode did reduce the cost of our recodification $1,400 from what was originally quoted. The reason for this is we came in a number of pages short based on what the original quote was based on, and based on that they reduced it by $1,400. So rather than $11,650 that council has approved, we're paying $10,250 in the end. So. The website is receiving the final touches. We had some photography done over the weekend for staff and council members. The content's almost complete on the website. Every time we think we're close, we think of more that we want to put on, but I think that's a great thing, and that we're really trying to provide the public with everything that they need to know on this website. But we look forward to finishing that up in the next few weeks and taking it live for the public to see. As a reminder to council, your statement of economic interest needs to be done by the 30th of this month. You can go to ethics.se.gov, and I think it takes about 2 or 3 minutes, if I'm thinking correctly. I have not done mine, so
If you move slowly.
I'll be getting on that as soon as possible. And last but not least, he's been to meetings. He was actually introduced at or briefly introduced to people at a special council meeting that we had. I want to introduce the new assistant town manager for the town of Batesburg-Leesville. He started on February 23rd. His name's Seth Duncan, and he served as the business service manager for the Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester Council of Governments. He served in various capacities within state and regional government over the past 8 years. His focus has been on building strong communities and workforce development. He's got his master's in public administration from the University of South Carolina, which I'm really excited about. And he got his undergrad degree and Bachelor of Arts degree in political science from the Ohio State University. Seth's background is very strong in community development, workforce development, and economic development. And we look forward to what Seth has to offer and can bring to the town of Batesburg-Leesville. So if you get a chance to come up and introduce yourself, come meet Seth. He's a great guy to talk to, and he's always got open ears, and we look forward to working with him.
Welcome aboard. Stand up so people can see you and know who you are. I think everybody's gonna like you. We've got nothing for executive session, so we've got no action items for post-executive session. Potential agenda items for next month's meeting.
I have one, probably one I've already talked to you about. I know next month they're gonna bring to us we're thinking about the yard sales for the Poultry Festival. I will vote for it if we can get limited to a geographic area.
That'll be a first. Okay.
If I may, that's been a proposal's already, two different proposals has been taken to the steering committee at this point for them to provide their input on. So we're getting that ready for you to vote yes to, okay?
Well, if the steering committee is okay with it, then there's any reason we shouldn't be.
That's right.
Second reading on the declining rate business license, that will be on next month. We won't have a meeting prior to the special.
Don't know yet. Right now it's slated to be on April's regular meeting.
We may go ahead and have that with a deadline of April 15th, and some people are waiting until we have final reading. I know I don't want to put the cart before the horse and go ahead and throw it out. The council's going to adopt this in case there are any other questions or anything before we get there. I don't want April 15th breathing down our neck either. So look at your calendars for next week. And let's see if you can punch some numbers real fast. Just
and I'll try and get as close to a ballpark as I can.
Most was inside the fence, I guess. Motion to adjourn?
So
Motion from Charles, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Maggie. Discussion, District 1.
District 1 votes yes.
2.
yes,
4.
District 4 votes yes.
Yes.
5. 7.
Yes.
I vote yes, and we're adjourned. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I'm doing good, how are you? I'll see you next Monday.
You'll hold council. Rachel, come back. Everybody sit. You all close together. And you'll put them in
My teacher.
Come here, all right? Really? Here.
Photoshop going, something.
Throw on real quick.
Work today. Hey, you're lucky I'm trusting you. The business license.
there's the rates. Everything.
I just did a bunch of, like, casing,
Yep.
so that's all I was trying to say.
Red, everything in red is more expensive, everything in green is cheaper, and if it's white, it's the same. Hey.
Everybody was talking, is that what you want? Everybody wait.
I wanted her to tell me that, give me a feel
That makes a difference.
for all of this.
It was like, I actually did crunch the numbers, and she gave me the amount, it was like 200% versus 300%.
Yes, sir.
But
I say you hang on.
yeah, I haven't actually crunched the numbers.
Got it? We're done.
I haven't asked him about it. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
The what?
He may have never heard of it.
Marie might have been protected.
I don't think he ever heard the first amount. I don't think he did.
Alright.
Okay. How you doing?
These rates are not changing. These rates, what we're talking about is businesses that go do $1 billion or more dollars. That's the only people we're talking about. This was implemented, this is the one we changed in these, to these rates, a whole different structure. The structure we adopted is now the same as everyone else. Ours was so old.